Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is time for our in-between show segment, and today we're going to be playing a little game you might have heard, 2 truths, 1 lie. If you're unfamiliar, basically, these players that we just got to see battle it out on the Rift, I'm going to state 3 facts about them. One of them has been changed just a little bit to try and trip our casters up. Are you 2 ready?
Wait, I have a question.
I think so.
Okay, question. Yes, what's up?
You said you're going to say 3 facts, but one of them has been changed. So there's going to be 2 facts then.
All right, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Smacks, are you ready?
I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to be starting it off with Dokla, top laner, of course, of CLGA. So 3 facts, and then I want you to say which one you think is false and which one and why. Why do you think it's false? First off, Dokla has played on a variety of teams, won for only 2 days. Has stated before, best way to climb is to have a small champ pool and watch people better than you. And 3, the name based off a river in India.
Wait, who's answering this first?
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
I bet that the first one is the lie. I would bet that he played on a team for like 2 weeks and not 2 days. That's my pick.
Do I have to take a guess now too?
Yeah, I want to know which one of you is going to be right.
Can you say the second one again?
Second one, yes. Has stated before that the best way to climb ranked is to have a small champ pool and watch people better than you.
I feel like that's the lie because knowing Dokla, nobody's better than me. So I'm going to go with number 2.
All right, I don't have a buzz here, but both of y'all are incorrect.
Oh.
The lie was number 3, actually. Dokla is actually based off of a vegetarian Indian dish, not a river. So 0-0 to start this one up. Congratulations.
Wow.
Woo!
All right, second off, we're gonna go with Sligo, mid, of course, for EGA. To start things off, was on the Dignitas Academy roster with Prismal. 2, only American player on the team, born in Colorado. And 3, was on a main and Academy roster for 2 different orgs, 100 Thieves and Dignitas previously. Guys, we'll start with you this time.
Okay.
So say that last one for me again.
Yeah. Was on, for 2 different orgs, was on their main and their Academy roster, 100 Thieves and Dignitas.
Okay, I'm going to go with the first one because I think the second 2 are true. That's literally my only reason.
All right, Smacks?
I think the first one's true as well. I don't think Prismal's ever been on Dignitas. That's my reason.
All right, you guys both correct this time.
Woo!
Yeah, it was on the 100 Thieves Academy roster that the 2 had played together. So both of y'all 1-1.
Nice.
Congratulations. All right, I'll let you pick, Smacks. Player from EGA or CGLA for our next one?
Let's do EG. Let's do Eva Geniuses.
Okay.
All right, so Tomio is going to be our 3rd player we're going to be talking about. 2 facts, 1 lie. Shortest career out of the entire team, starting October 2020. Was the newest member of EGA after being brought up from Evil Genius Prodigies. And 3, has a profile picture of Pikachu on Twitter.
So for the second one, he's not the newest player on the team.
Yeah.
Surdy and Skytech were the most recent players. So I'm
Right.
gonna pick that one.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
the one I'm going to go with too because he's not the newest player.
All right. Congratulations. Both correct. Oldest player actually on the team despite having the shortest career out of everybody. So I guess I started off difficult and then made them a little too easy going along. Or you 2 are just really smart. Who knows? Could
I'm a
be.
Tomio fan. What can I say?
There you go. All right. So we're going to go talk about triple mid laner CLGA, of course. So starting off, first is from Sydney, Australia. 2, got a Player of the Game award in LCS with FlyQuest. 3, got asked to join. Sorry, I got to read my own writing. Wow, this is really bad.
Don't worry, I do too.
Got asked to join their first team after reaching Challenger in Season 4. Magical, we'll let you go first.
I'm going to go God, these ones are hard. I know he's from Australia, but a question. I think he got. I do remember him getting player of the game before when he subbed in briefly for FlyQuest. I'm gonna go with 3. Go with the third one.
3. All right, Smacks. What about you?
I'm gonna say that he was not born in Sydney. I'm gonna say it's a different city in Australia.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm torn on that one. It was 1 or 3 for me.
That's my pick.
All right, incorrect. Both of y'all
Really?
actually got 2 Player of the Game awards.
Oh.
While playing with Fog.
Yeah, I knew he
gotta
got
listen.
1, so I was about to say, if you said he didn't get any, I would have been like, what? No, I'm pretty sure he got 1.
And come on,
2
put
of
a little bit more respect. Got 2. There was that good.
He's
but,
better than we thought.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's good.
That-
He's good.
It was good reasoning though, knowing that there was a word. But yeah, no, got 2. Also, little bonus question here. What is Triple's name based off of? I thought this was just a fun little tidbit.
The number 3.
Really, Smack? That's what you're gonna go with? Really? You want to try again? I'll let you have the floor because I also want to.
No, I'm confident in my answer.
You're that confident. I can tell you you're incorrect. Would you like another crack at it? Well, magical thanks.
No, I think I'm still right, even though you think I'm wrong.
Okay. You know what? I don't really have anything better, so I'm gonna go with triple kill.
All right, it's actually based off of a McDonald's burger.
Oh, really? I would not have gotten that.
Yeah, no, I read it and I had to read it a couple times. I'm trying to think back to the McDonald's menu. I'm like, what's even a triple?
Yeah, right.
I don't know what they have over in Australia, but no. Y'all didn't do terribly. I think it was about 50-50 on two truths, 1 lie. So congratulations.
Woo.
I'm gonna throw you 2 back to Champion Select to see if CLGA can take this into 2-0 or if Evil Geniuses Academy can step up. Have fun, you two. We'll see you later.
Thank you,
I'll see you
Zero.
later.
We'll see you later. It'll be a lot of fun to bring you back in, but we got to get through this series, see if we're going to have that 3rd game or not, if Evil Geniuses can bounce back. It was a close game for like the first 20 minutes of the game, but then one misstep from Evil Geniuses, and we talked about before, Smacks. CLG are amazing at punishing those single solitary mistakes and exploiting it for these wins every single time.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Evil Geniuses, they are not like us, and they're not tied in this series. As we just won, or we're just both tied in the two truths, 1 lie. We get into this draft, CLG ahead in the series, and we're going to be seeing a side swap as well. CLG going to be moving over to the blue at Evil Genius's request.
Yeah, and if you look at Evil Geniuses, when it was the regular season, it was actually their worst performing side during the Academy split. But in both victories over Maryville Saints, it was on this red side, unfortunately for them. Even though they banned away Viego, one of the most picked champions that we currently had, even if he's not the most banned with the jungle role, they left open that heck room that Rosethorn stole away from Tommy.
Perhaps it was in an attempt to get that one over to Tomio, as you're saying, stealing that away. But regardless, Evil Geniuses leave that one available, and it will be scooped up almost immediately by Rosethorn. Will be more of a carry focus for him in this game. He usually does play a lot of those enablers and a lot of those champions that want to make sure that the laners get ahead earlier on. Not so much the case this time, and he will be up against Tomio, who kind of is doing the opposite. He's going to be wanting to be very lethal in that early game, finding Rosethorn on this Hecarim and punishing him for farming.
Yeah, and we've already seen that Tomio is well-versed in this Lee Sin matchup. He played the Lee Sin second game against Maryville Saints, looked amazing on those early plays consistently, setting his lanes ahead. But with CLG, not just grabbing that Hecarim for themselves, something that wants to farm, but really strong laners in Jace and Ari right off the bat. I'm curious to see how Evil Geniuses will answer in those solo lanes to try to see if they can contain both Dokla and Triple.
Dokla showing a lot of priority on this Jace champion. Only 2 locked in for Evil Geniuses so far. A lot of opportunity to counterpick, and it does look like the Irelia will be the option. Likely going to be there in that top lane for Surdy into the Jace.
Yeah.
That is so huge. And Surdy, you can feel the confidence oozing out of the screen from here.
Yeah, pretty much just throwing down the gauntlet at the feet of Dokla here, saying, you know what? It might be match point. If we lose this game, we're knocked down to the lower bracket, but I'm here to win. I want to dominate in this lane. You got that solo kill on the last time around, but this game, it is going to be you who suffers.
I talked about in the last draft as well, Magical. We have Ari for triple. He played this champion in about a third of his regular season games in Academy, and he will be back on this champion. He's got a lot of priority on this one, and priority, funny enough, is the name of the game for this champion. You want to be able to move around with your jungler and with the rest of your team, because what is the easiest champion to kill for Ari? A bottom laner. You just land your charm, you fully burst them out, you're a couple of levels above them, and you just get a huge lead from there. So for triple, it's going to need to push in this wave as much as possible and roam around and be a death squad with Rosethorn and company.
As we see right here in the second part of the ban, double 80 carries banned away by Evil Genius since one hadn't been taken for Prismal. But that Nautilus ban, to me, it screams that they want to go for Ezreal Yumi in that bot lane. This is something that we used to see a lot more often when Yumi first got released, but it's a good pick, especially when you have a pick like Hecarim on your team.
We know that Prismal is a very skilled Ezreal player too. That certainly would be an angle they could take. A lot of these marksmen already off the board. Lucian though is here, banned in the previous game. I talked about it in the draft or in the pre-show as well. Winthrop just yesterday pulled out this Lucian Nami combination. Lucian just very recently buffed up, and Nami as well. Not on this patch, but previous to this, she got a lot more of a burst of movement speed from her passive, whereas before it was just a very small one. Now it starts really high and decays over its duration. So you can go very quickly, very fast with this Nami pick on your team. I really like this combination on this patch. It is so strong.
I also like the non-committal engage that you have with Tidal Wave on your team, especially because you have good poke that can come in from Jace, but also the all-ins from an Ari, Lucian, and Hecarim are going to be really nice for the side of CLG. Looking at Evil Geniuses, they have good space-making tools on their side. This Vex, Lee Sin, and Rakan, all good at creating a little bit of extra comfort room for Cowrie and Surdy, but that's going to be the big thing, is they have to make sure they can consistently create that zone for them to carry.
I really love the combination of Vex and Irelia together. These champions, which typically do not really like diving in solo because they die pretty frequently, if they can dive together with other champions, then you become so deadly when you're diving forward. And Lee Sin and Rakan do a lot to activate that as well. Pair that with a Gravitum ultimate from Cowrie. This is a deadly engaged squad for Evil Geniuses. But as always is true for these squads, the problem will come if they have some trouble keeping pace and if they can't get ahead in the early game. That is typically the main issue that you run into with drafts like this, is if you're not confident enough and you don't have the lead, then you can't engage. And at that point, what does your comp do? Not a whole lot.
I think that's where Tomio is going to have a lot on his shoulders in order to get these early leads for Evil Geniuses, especially going up against Rosethorn, playing a power farming jungler like Hecarim.
That's going to be the main thing to exploit for Evil Geniuses. And when that is true against Rosethorn, it's going to be really tricky because Rosethorn has really been popping off in this split of Academy Magical. So when that guy is the guy you want to punish, can be a bit tough. But we're getting into the second game. Evil Geniuses had a great early game in game one. They're going to need to do it again to keep competitive in this series against our top seed.
I was about to say, speaking of punishing, CLG all grouped up for some level 1 shenaniganeries. 30 in the tri-bush first, and that will be his salvation. Spotting out any movements that can come in from CLG, but I think he poked out of the bush, so he was spotted. Now he's retreating, understanding that even if it is just Dokla, the bluff, he does not want to take.
He doesn't really want that 1v1. Irelia needs her spells, and most importantly, a minion wave to be competitive with damage early game, because you want to be able to stack up that Ionian Fervor passive. There's no targets to hit right now in this game. You can't get your resets off with your Blade Surge, so Surdy wisely backing away. He wouldn't have won that trade regardless if it was a 1v1 or a 1v5. So on the other side of the Rift, We don't see any defensive warding here from Evil Geniuses, just the standard one in the bottom lane that we see when we go for these 5 points. Skytech as well, switching over to the sweeper, and Breezy doing the same. Let's just get some more vision control down there.
But I love the play from CLG in this top lane. Sure, they didn't get anything from Surdy. They didn't get a flash. They weren't able to actually try to gain control of the jungle, but they gained control of the top lane for Dokla. And as you had talked about, Max, Aurelia really desperately needs those spells in order to fight back against Jace when he is very powerful. Level 1 into the Aurelia, and they've set up a similar strategy like they did when it was the Jace versus the Renekton. Understanding there is power on the other side. They don't want to let Surdy have a free lane.
We are seeing both junglers starting their path on the bottom side of the rift and likely will be pathing all the way up to that top side. So you don't really, like you said, want to give either of these players a free lane. It doesn't look like either team is keen to do that.
That's a lot of damage onto Cowrie. The level 2 spike Prismal and Breezy got pulling around this passive bot lane that can't really fight back against the duo that is Nami Lucian. When we saw Nami kind of get that mini rework, right? It was really this pairing that was dominating and terrorizing solo queue.
Level 2 spike is just so massive for Prismal and Breezy right there. And like you just said, this duo has been shown to be so deadly even on the highest stage at Worlds just last year, a few months ago even. So for Cowrie and Skytech, they now just learned the hard way. They need to be more careful in this lane. Both non-flash summoner spells are down, and Cowrie's running low on potions as well. That's so much damage. Prismal and Breezy, they don't have their jungler near them, but this is a lot of power they can use in the isolated matchup, and they've made the correct read that Tomio's not going to be around either, so they can just keep pushing here.
Getting control of these lanes, the two sides working out for CLG. Even though Surdy was able to dodge away from that shock blast utilizing the Blade Surge, but he took a lot more damage from the poke Dokla has when he's in that cannon form. A level lead 2. Going to the bot lane, there's still that level lead, the experience lead that Prismal and Breezy have as they continue to crash wave after wave into Evil Geniuses. I'm curious to see if Surdy can make this play work out in the top lane. Last time it didn't work out so well. He's doing his best to fight back, and they got both low.
Good use of the W, denies a lot of the extra power and damage that melee form
Tomio
Jace provides.
Nice flash from both sides.
I like that one from Tomio a lot. That's definitely worth it for the side of Evil Geniuses. Now Dokla, a lot less safe in this isolated 1v1 against Surdy, and likely both of these laners will be teleporting back into lane. There we go. Dokla and Surdy, even if they are just in the isolated 1v1 from here on out, things will start to favor Surdy a bit more. He does have all of his spells available. His Blade Surge is getting more points in it with these levels. This is the part of the lane where Aurelia can be really, really devastating to play against.
Plus, it delayed Dokla getting back into the lane. That's the big win for me, is Tomio getting that flash and delaying Dokla fighting back against Surdy for control of the lane.
Somebody
I hear it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I hear it out there. Well, maybe they're just excited. They're
gets
excited at the fact that, you know, Dokla had to blow his flash. Evil Geniuses are getting these early... I mean, if it's not a lead per se, they're getting early advantages they can look to get those early leads from.
Keep going. They're still panicking. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone's got to go answer their car out there. I'll talk until you tell me not to talk, Smacks. How's that? I'll just continue. I'll just continue talking. You're gonna have to deal with my voice until whoever's car alarm that is in the background of Smacks gets resolved. Right now, looking at the bot lane, it is still controlled by CLG. The one last bastion of lane priority that they have is mid lane. Saligo has been doing a good job into the RE matchup. This is kind of why we see Vex oftentimes into it. Top lane, Surdy had to flash early to get away from Rosethorn, who galloped right on top of him, but with the turret back, he's going to be fine. Tomio is nearby as well, just in case they look for the dive. Doesn't look like they're going to at the moment.
Okay, I think it's not audible anymore.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't hear anything now.
Okay, I closed the window.
Okay, cool.
It is still going, so I still hear it, but
I don't.
I closed the window.
Surdy took a lot of damage, and here's Rosethorn to answer. They could look for the dive, but the fact Tomio is there again thwarts an attempted dive in the top lane. We saw this last game, where Tomio just hung around Surdy to make sure Rosethorn couldn't have these early plays on for Dokla.
This is This is getting really scary up in this top lane right now. The junglers are still here,
scary.
but this time Prismal has arrived. He's got Spirit Rush. This is what I wanted to see from Ari.
Well, and look at Saligo on the other side. 30, Vanguard's Edge. When's it going to be used? Too little, too late. It was first blood for Triple.
Good moves from CLG. This is, like I just said, the Ari thing. You leave this lane, you push in the wave, and you use the Spirit Rush to find kills. And you can see, even in this mid lane, it's still working out for Triple. Saligo missed out on a lot of those minions because that wave did land underneath the turret. Just expert mid lane play from our first seed team here. Triple popping off today.
Yeah, that was a great roam. The fact that he doesn't really have much lane priority against Saligo, but still makes the play work topside because he had gotten one wave to crash back effect, which had Saligo a little bit behind him. He was on his coattails trying to keep up. But Triple is the first one to act on these plays, utilizing that he knew Tomio was in the top lane, getting an advantage for Dokla on 30, in a matchup that we now look towards 30 and see if he can actually fight back against Dokla.
And looking across the board at this point here, Mad Magical, Evil Geniuses are certainly on the back foot in this game. This is the major worry that we had for a draft like this, where they have all of these really big tools to engage into this game. It becomes a lot less easy to do when all 5 of your players are behind. It's going to take an immense amount of teamwork for Evil Geniuses to actually land one of these plays, because it can still be devastating. Even if you are down, it's mostly just going to be a confidence thing for these players. They have been shown to trust each other a whole lot more and come in with a lot more coordinated plays. So if there's any time for Evil Geniuses Academy to be able to do this, it is Proving Grounds. It is now.
And with CLG having a bit of a lead, even if it's not very much, it's 1,000 gold, it's enough to force out lanes like this, where they can just keep Cowrie and Skytech pinned underneath the turret with dragons available. They've got their Hecarim scaling up, getting more farm. Dokla even sidestepping that attempted engage coming in from Sligo. He will still die to 30. Triple could clean up for the team, looking for that re-engage, but he's got to wait until Rosethorn is there.
Flash Fear from Sligo is amazing, is in bot lane.
Okay, Tidal Wave, triple knock up, and with that gank coming in from Tomio, he wasn't able to pick up Breezy. Dirty still getting dove. He's still fighting back, and he will fall as Tomio is nearly taken down by Prismal in the bot lane.
Oh man, Breezy was really close to dying right there. The Sonic Wave just barely not connecting, and the bottom side play stuffed out thanks to a phenomenal Tidal Wave from the support player of CLG. On the other side, Mad Magical, we're getting plays every which way. CLG do find one punish onto one of these members, and it's Surdy again who gets taken out. It's Surdy again who's playing this counterpick champion who can't quite land it because of the added pressure of Rosethorn. Gotta remember to pick up that eye there, buddy. He got it.
He got it. He's got it in his inventory. Can rotate around and look to see if he can pop it mid lane. But let's look at this replay, this bot lane. Like you talked about, that Tidal Wave was what saved the lives of the bot lane.
Oh, it was just so beautiful. Landing onto all of the members, as we do see the kick did hit onto Breezy, but they didn't quite have the follow-up damage there, even after Cowrie was flashing forward with the Calibrum Q. Oh, that was so close for it to work out for Evil Geniuses. And you can see they are still trying stuff, which is what we want from this team. They have all of these champions with high octane engages to be had, but they do need to just, at a certain point, say, hey, we're going to do this. Whether it works or not, we have to do this as a team.
Well, and I'm looking back towards Tomio. He's attempted a couple plays here. Hanging out in the top lane, saved Surdy's life only temporarily. Then that play bot lane. He was able to get a flash off both the bot laners of CLG, but not enough to get the kills. Both his side and even himself burned those flashes just to either engage or disengage.
We're seeing here for Evil Geniuses, they're looking for some more plays. They need to get things started for them and get back into the momentum game. The momentum game, that is the really big part of this also. In this top lane, however, it doesn't look like Surdy is going to have an easy time doing this. Rosethorn charging up.
Charging up, he was threatening a potential dive, but it is still difficult to dive full health. Aurelia even if you have Rift Herald in your inventory, there was not enough mana on Dokla, so I respect that Rosethorn instead just recalls, utilizing the empowered recall you could have to look for a reset around this dragon. Since Evil Geniuses, having spotted out Rosethorn temporarily, are looking for their own play.
CLG see this play happening, but it might be a little too late. Sligo has his ultimate. He can get things started. Another tidal wave.
Look at SkyTech. Quickness double knockup, and they can follow in for a double kill out of Tomio.
That was picturesque from SkyTech. He used the quickness and just walked it down right into range of Prismo and Breezy because he knows he has a longer crowd control chain if he lands the charm and then the knockup afterward. Sets up for the ultimate from Sligo, sets up from the ultimate from Tomio, and this is the rookie player getting things started for Evil Geniuses. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, this is why I was saying that SkyTech, you look at the victory that Evil Geniuses got over Maryville. Hell, you even look at the last game, how he rotated around the map with Tomio. There's great stuff to see, but right there, they hadn't killed Rosethorn. So unfortunately, they have to dodge away from a lot of ults used, but with that exhaust, it's not enough to save your own life. Tomio's, maybe. He's got Cowrie behind him. He's galloping towards him, getting a lot of damage, and the help of that red buff. Without the Sonic Wave connecting, it is just going to be Evil Geniuses sacrificing one to survive.
Oh, and Rosethorn pushing Tomio off and killing SkyTech means Cowrie can no way get over to this turret. He likely will have to just watch it fall from the sidelines as Rosethorn, all this extra pressure. He spots out that Tomio is doing this objective, and it's just not safe for him to do so. The cherry on top is him with the smite steal, too. Oh, man, that's just so brutal, and Evil Geniuses get heavily punished for this play. CLG still in the lead.
They attempted that play onto Dragon, but didn't respect that Rosethorn could be there. Here, with the knockup, it just goes a bit wide because Rosethorn had assistance from his team.
And the tenacity is there a bit too much. SkyTech can't land the grand entrance for the follow-up. Rosethorn even gets out with his life at this point, Mad Magical.
Yeah.
CLG has such a solid lead. I really admire the way that they've got to this point as well. They've slipped up a bit in the spot side, but this is retribution.
But this is some retribution for sure. This is CLG playing to the best of their abilities with his early game dominating styles. They are so good at gaining control in these lanes and exuding that over their opponents.
At this point, Evil Geniuses, they've got to get themselves back into shape, getting over some plays in this bottom side. They just lost a whole lot of momentum that they had on that side of the map. A lot of credit to Rosethorn for really making sure that that swing came through, but for EG, they need to recover. They need to recuperate.
A lot of that's still going to be off the back of Tomio and SkyTech. Rosethorn and Breezy are a tag team too. They've grouped up with a level advantage for Rosethorn, having power farmed for days. He's got his Turbo Chem tank already built up. They could look for this play on triple. That is some good layered CC for a shutdown out of Tomio.
Nice job there. On to triple again. We're seeing both of these teams actually making plays onto Ahri, even with Flash and Spirit Rush available. You know, maybe CLG kicking themselves a bit by showing Evil Geniuses how it's done in the previous game, but no matter. Sligo sets that one up, and SkyTech knocks it down as well. Tomio getting the kill for that one, 3-0 on Lee Sin. Still in this game, despite being up against a farming champion like this Hecarim, Tomio will still be able to pump out some nice damage.
Well, when we look over to Evil Geniuses, and you had talked about as long as they keep up the pace or get a little bit of a lead over CLG, they have a really good team fight composition. Also, they can set up side lanes for Surdy and Sligo. I'm looking to see how Sligo is going to play in these stages of the game. We're 15 minutes in, no plates available. But we've seen the wombo combo potential from SkyTech and Sligo when they work as one unit.
We've got Tomio attempting to play around his bottom lane pair right now. Prismal and Breezy, they just don't bite. They do not take the bait. They are the smarter fish in the end right now. And Tomio, the sad fisherman, has to walk away. His net empty on this one, going right back to farming up the camps because, you know, at least those guys don't move. You know exactly where they're going to be.
That is too true. Too true. He gets himself a reset as well. But the fact that the Rift Herald had been started, Tomio has to cancel the recall he was attempting. He's got 30. He has an ability to TP into the pit if they want to start a fight.
Tomio's here. He has Smite. He can go for the Retribution play and steal away the objective. They're teleporting as well to this one. Surdy's here.
And look, Dokla, he's walked his entire way, but that charm! What a charm from Triple, forcing flashes, disengages from Evil Geniuses. Rift Herald is CLG.
Man, and this is likely going to net them a dragon as well if they keep all this pressure on this Rift. What a charm onto Tomio, Mad Magical. Again, finding out these very, very movement-heavy champions. The Lee Sin, the Ahri. These plays are amazing.
Well, they're using that ability in this mid lane. CLGA will get his own kill back onto Triple. And you know what? That charm might have been great before, but I am a Vex into Ahri, and I can always chase you down.
Nice job there from Surdy and CLGA. The crowd control from Vex turning out to be very useful against Ahri. You get to get all of your passive stacks back up every single time that Spirit Rush comes through. She does punish those dashes really nicely, especially if you land the auto attack, which CLGA has been keen on doing in these skirmishes. So good Vex plays, keeping Evil Geniuses in this game and in these skirmishes too, which is where they should be shining.
But I want to rewind a bit and get back to the conversation of Tomio versus Rosethorn, because him getting picked off by Triple around that Rift Herald was a big success for Triple in making sure they can secure that Rift Herald. Since if you look at Tomio, he was 3-0 before that. Sure, he's only died the one time still, but that is a nice way to get more gold for Triple, who's been punished pretty heavily by CLGA.
CLGA, he's been doing a phenomenal job on this Vex. He's a bit slow to return to that mid lane right there, so they lose out on a bit of turret damage. Prismal and Breezy quick to punish this. Speaking of punishes.
Quickness, knocked back with the hammer, flashed away by Dokla. The re-engage came in from Triple, but the kick on to Triple with an exhaust as well. They got a kill for Cowrie, as Dokla can't do too much except for waddle away.
Wow, that was so many examples of amazing mechanics all in one little skirmish. As Triple, he dashes in to try to save Dokla, who didn't even need saving in the end. He outplays the Rakan quickness with perfection, using the golf swing to get him out of melee range and then flashing at the exact right moment to not be hit by the Grand Entrance. I can't believe Dokla survived that, but clearly Triple couldn't either, because he really tried to save his teammate to no avail. Tomio punishes quite nicely, and now both teams, after that play, goes in favor of Evil Geniuses, can maybe look to clean up that top lane turret and move over to this dragon.
While that play was made top lane, Prismal Breezy had toppled the tier 1 in mid. That's getting more gold, so it's these constellation prizes. What plays can you make on the other side of the map while the enemy makes a play onto your team? And that was a good read by CLG. Even if Triple did fall and Dokla could have survived on his own, they were using that to keep members of Evil Geniuses in that top lane, so Prismal and Breezy could open up a very critical structure in the mid lane.
And I got caught up in all those mechanics. I didn't even notice that CLG took away the dragon too. The dragon and turret. 2 in each of those objectives so far, as you can see at the top of your screen. EG still not able to find any of those, and we're getting to a point now that CLG just has this really big lead.
Yeah, and a lot of that is Rosethorn. He has been power farmed. He has got 50 CS over Tomio, the dragon you had talked about as well. That's the second dragon of the game for CLG. They are in a great spot to utilize Rosethorn to lead the charge for the team. With Triple, even if he has been ganked a couple of times, trying to put him behind, he's still going to be pretty powerful when they all group up as one.
Very intentional right there that Dokla let the turret fall without anyone near it to pick up the local gold, but more importantly, to make this lane that he is in a lot longer as well. That is super uncomfortable for Cowrie to play into, and for a lot of the champions as well. Like CLGA doesn't really want to be in a long lane either. Not a very mobile champion, this Vex. So for CLG, they're really opening up this top channel, and if that Rift Herald falls, it's going to be even wider.
That's actually a really big play from Cowrie and Skytech. No charge came through from Shelly. They answered that perfectly. They had members of Evil Geniuses by the wayside in case a dive was attempted by CLG. Here they continue to invade. Continue to try to step up that line of vision into the territory of Evil Geniuses.
This is what CLG wanted to do with all that pressure. All of the turrets falling and the inner circle right there, or the outer circle, I should say, means that your jungle camps are so tricky to take down because there's really nothing stopping your opponent from coming in and placing all of these wards and even just standing there waiting for you to go over and try to take away this red buff. So Rosethorn taking away that red for his own. Now they've got 2 of them on CLG as Prismal's going for the friendly one on their side of the rift. Tomio's gonna have to be very careful with which camps he decides to go for and which ones he decides to donate over to his team.
Thing is, I think that Tomio isn't really too worried about that. He's got his Gore Drinker. That's a big power spike for Lee Sin, and he's going to be more of an initiation tool with Skytech. And we haven't really even seen Surdy a part of the equation. It's been mostly Soligo, and you talked about how great of a combo that Aurelia will be once we get these full dives committed by Evil Geniuses, who aren't that terribly far behind CLG. At this point of the game, they're only about, they're just shy of 2,000 gold behind, which is not that big of a lead for CLG.
That's not wrong, actually. CLG, they've had a lead this entire time, but it's not completely insurmountable. Evil Geniuses, with solid teamwork, could definitely make things happen as Cowrie's got a flash. Oh, man. The culling, too good this stage of the game.
Especially if you bring in Breezy to buff up your Lucian and chunk out Cowrie with Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. CLG are the ones with the inside track on the objective.
It's the first of many Infernal Dragons onto this rift, and by many I might mean 2. CLG are pretty close to securing that entire soul for themselves. Like we were saying, Evil Geniuses, they have not been on top of the objective game in this one so far. They've had a lot of struggles in their laning phase, but that's not going to stop them from trying on this one. Teleporting in Surdy's here, Skytech in position, but Charm!
The Charm! They destroy Skytech. No longer the engage tool needed. It's going to be the engage coming in from CLG. They've got the Shadow Surge on the backline, but Cowrie, another Charm, another double kill. Rosethorn pulling back in 30. They can make that a triple kill, but triple takes it instead as Soligo and Tomio. They are running for the hills. Another Charm from triple. These Charms are critical, and it gets Tomio completely out of the fight. The Baron is the objective in the eye of CLG.
When Ahri gets 7 dashes in a single team fight, you know that the Ahri is winning it right now, Mad Magical. We get to watch this one again. It's Triple who finds the charm onto Skytech, trying to dash away. He can't land that crowd control that we've seen him provide his team up until this point. And the front line really coming online for CLG as well. Rosethorn, the disruptor on this Hecarim. You can see even Dokla's diving in on top of it. And this last charm too just seals the deal. We come out of this replay with CLG securing the Baron. They've got 2 Drakes moving over to the 3rd, and they very well could be on their victory lap to make it to round 3 with a 2-0.
Amazing plays out of the mid laner for CLG. Triple huge in that play. Rosethorn, sure, he was leading a lot of the charge, but that one charm onto Skytech, denying the engage setup that Evil Geniuses had been utilizing to keep even in this game, turns it all and makes it so that instead of a 2,000 gold lead, we're now at a 5,000 gold lead, getting up to the 6,000 mark between the 2 teams.
You can't really blame Skytech too much for that one either. That's just Prismal really lethal, finding out that play. Skytech just barely too slow to get out of that with the grand entrance. And it just really goes to show how dominant and how destructive CLG Academy have been in this split. There's a bubble.
That bubble gets the flash, but there's nowhere to go, Surdy. You're dragged back in.
Man, nice job from Breezy. It's really hard to land a bubble onto a champion as mobile as Irelia, but without vision, it's a little bit easier. It's Triple under fire.
Charms from Triple, though, dashing around consistently, running around the Evil Geniuses. He's got those fancy feet that, with the play for Evil Geniuses, they get the turret in the bot lane, but your turret, your base, is being threatened.
Yeah, the way that this is worth it for Cowrie is if they don't lose out too much on this side and they don't just straight up lose the game from this as well, as he is getting some objective bounties. He's going to be able, if he stays bot, to get all of that gold on the bot side turret again. He is taking that recall. He's acknowledging that his team really does need him in this base defense, and it might be too late.
I was about to say, they crashed the wave in the bot lane, but you lose that inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Skytech is looking for the roam. Double, triple knockup. This could be the play they need for Evil Geniuses, but the charms for triple are too huge. With the re-engage coming in, they've taken down Surdy. They've got an onslaught of shadows into the back line as well. Looking for more. The kick, not enough to get the damage on the Rose, but instead it's going to be the life from Tomio they take with Cowrie too. Everyone's been run around by Evil Geniuses. CLG, the #1 seed of Academy, showing up massive in their first appearance in the Proving Ground.
Good job for CLG Academy. A second game that was much more dominant than the first. They did not lose their advantage the entire time, and with a culling into the base, Prismal secures one final kill, making it a 5-for-0 ace, and the top dogs remain on the top.
Once they get a lead, they take that to the bank in both games 1 and 2 for 2-0 sweep over Evil Genius Academy.
I think the big story here at Mad Magical is that CLG Academy are one of our top teams in this entire event. But Evil Geniuses showed amazing signs of improvement from the regular season. I think even though they did end up losing both of these games in this series, that should be our main takeaway from this team. We saw some really big plays from them, namely Skytech. I was really impressed by his recon and the first game as well. I thought this was a very, very large improvement for him and the team. It's just CLG are a little bit too good.
I mean, from top to bottom, this is why CLG are the favorites to win all of Proving Grounds, and they proved how they can play. Sure, it was relatively even in both games up until about the 20-minute mark, but then you see that one play that breaks open the game completely wide for CLG. Just one small advantage they find. Those charms from Triple in this game, the pick onto Cowrie in the first game, and they utilize that each and every time for an easy victory.
The quality of gameplay here from CLG Academy is one that will be very difficult to match for the other teams in this tournament. I cannot wait to see what their next look is as we move forward in this one. And speaking of moving forward in this tournament, Evil Geniuses, even though they did lose today, are not quite out yet. It's a double elimination, so we're going to get to see if they can show even more improvement in the rest of the lower bracket, and if they can go for one of those miracle Cinderella runs that we know and love in Proving Grounds.
Hey, we've seen it many times, man. I mean, if you paid at all any attention to last year, the first introduction to the Proving Grounds, we had, I think, both in spring and summer, those Cinderella miracle runs in the lower brackets from many teams.
I always love stuff like that, man. And for Evil Geniuses, they're looking up and up. This is not the same Evil Geniuses Academy that placed so low in the regular season. They are looking better, and I hope that they know that as well. I hope that they know that we support them, and we're hoping to see some even more improvements moving forward. But again, congratulations to Counterlogic Game Academy.
Yeah, and they will go on in the second round to face off against Immortals Academy, but that will be later. We still got more of our round ones, the first stage of the double elimination to come at you. But first, we got to toss a break. When we come back, our host of Sierra will be here for an interview. I hope you are too.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am here with Triple, mid laner from CLGA, after the 2-0 victory against Evil Geniuses Academy. First off, how are you? How are you feeling after that win?
I'm good, thanks. I feel a bit relieved, honestly, because, you know, like first game of playoffs and we haven't played on stage for a while. So a bit of jitters and nerves out of the way, you know, ready to move on with the rest of the tournament.
Wow, I'm a little surprised because going into this, me and the casters were talking, and we very much so favored CLGA in this matchup. So was it nerves? Was it just because of the stage, or did you think that there might have been something up Evil Genius's sleeve to maybe try and counter y'all?
Well, honestly, everyone like tries harder when there's like playoffs around. You know, everyone's just working harder, grinding. I see their players grinding too. So we're both academy teams. I respect them. You know, I'm not gonna like see them as worse opponents because they're lower seed, right? And also, it's like my previous two proving rounds, we have struggled in like the earlier rounds. So, yeah, just don't want to repeat of that. So I'm glad.
No, that's fair. You got to get over that first hurdle. Make sure history doesn't repeat itself. But then we'll talk about the strength of the team because very much so, fantastically strong team. Top seed coming into this from regular season. How are you and the rest of the team practicing to keep that momentum forward to make sure that nobody can really try and even catch up to you?
Well, I think we just focus on the things in our control. Usually, you know, you focus on your fundamentals, stuff you can fall back on if you know, maybe one day you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, you're not playing individually as well, which I didn't those two games. So, yeah, there's always stuff to fall back on there. And also, everyone just puts in the work. That's something I love about this team is that I see everyone staying back at the office till like, you know, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., you know, and two of our players are actually top 5 champs queue right now. I think shout out to Brendan, he's rank 1. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's just like really motivating to see when that's happening around you, you know, it makes you want to work harder.
Yeah, well, you've definitely been around people that have worked hard in the past as well. LCS experience and getting player of the game. How do you really feel like that experience has helped you moving forward in your career? Because that's not something that everybody playing right now can say that they've had.
Well, I know I said like I got nervous at the start of these games, but honestly, I feel a lot less nervous than like most people feel just because, you know, I've had that experience. And you'd think like I wouldn't feel it anymore, but I don't think that's something that like goes away. It's just something that's really natural to competition, you know. So that is my edge, I guess. Like, you know, I focus on like a lot of other stuff outside of the game to like make sure I'm ready for the game. And maybe newer players don't know about it, so I won't share my secrets, but you get what I'm trying to say.
All right, well, then I'll scratch the next question, which was any advice for amateur players out there. No secrets being revealed. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next one.
I want to keep my
then.
job, man.
Yeah, you know what? Fair play. I respect it. So last question. Between the games, me and the casters were talking about your username Triple and the origins of it. And originally it was way back with Triple Cheese. How did you decide that this is what you wanted to be naming yourself? What was the thought process?
Oh my god, honestly, like I personally I don't like my name too much because it's just like a 12-year-old really cringy name that I came up with, but I kind of just stuck with it throughout the years just because like I see a lot of players change their name and then their careers have never been the same, you know, so I kind of like am a bit superstitious in that way. But yeah, the origin is Triple Cheese. There's no like real big story to it. It's just I used to eat McDonald's a lot, and that was my favorite burger. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just make that my name.
Honestly, respectable. And I get the superstitions. I am too. Never change it. Before I let you go, though, I'll let the floor be yours. Any shout outs or any parting words that you might have?
Mainly shout out to my team for putting in so much work and just like, you know, it really keeps me going. Even the coaches, you know, like sometimes, you know, they'll stay back until like 7 o'clock, but yeah, you know, shout out to the team, shout out to all the fans and the people supporting me. Like, honestly, it means so much to me. I know there's a lot of people watching at home that cheer me on, watch all my games. I appreciate you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for talking with me. Congratulations again. Good luck moving forward. As for the rest of us, it's time for us to head back over to the caster deck. That's to catch up with Smax and Mad Magical after that series. I miss them. I miss the bright pink blazer coming out here from.
We almost missed it too.
That wasn't planned.
Well, I will say, I thought that there was a break after the interview from what I had seen in the run of show, so I had just stepped out for a second. I came back and saw everyone's here. Totally planned, actually. You know, yeah, that's what it was.
I was just saying how I missed that bright pink blazer, and you're not even here when we throw back. What is this shenanigans?
Shenaniganeries. I'm gonna get you to say this here. Shenaniganeries.
All right, when you're involved, there's definitely some shenaniganeries.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Real quick before we move on with the next part of the day, quick 3-word sum up of how you thought this match went. Smacks, you first.
Oh wow, that's a lot of pressure. Triple Ari good.
Awesome. Magical.
CLG, very good.
You just copied me.
the unoriginalist. I get it.
Look. I don't know what else to say in 3 words. They were really good.
I just picked a number of words. All right. Now, a fantastic showing from CLGA, though. 2 academy teams facing off, and now it's time to see one of our amateur teams show up to the pitch.